Hey, it's Brian with Old Man New Tech, and hey, it's appropriate that we're outdoors today because I was watching a video review from my good buddy Brandon No D. He runs a fantastic electronic review channel, and I'll shoot a link for that channel down below. You got to check the video out. And he was running a review for the Soundcore Motion Boom Plus speaker. I mean, he had a lot of good things to say about it. So I plopped down some cash, got my own. I'm gonna be doing a full review of this coming up next. But first, sometimes I buy stuff like this and sometimes companies send them to me, but I always give you my honest review with the pros and the cons. So you're gonna wanna stick around to the end and see what I really think about this speaker, and also see if I give it a full recommendation to buy. Now let's pop this little bad boy out of the box. Okay, so there's a box for the Motion Boom Plus by Soundcore, by Anker. Anyways, it's a fairly large box, so we are not going to bore you with the details of unpackaging this. We're going to unwrap this Old Man New Tech style. Okay, and here's everything that comes with the Soundcore Motion Boom Plus. Not a whole lot here because a Bluetooth speaker should be a fairly simple thing. I've got a Type-C to Type-C charging cord, so you're going to need to get one of those newfangled Type-C charging blocks, FYI. I've got some survey material. I've also got a user's manual, and I've got a quick start guide. I've also got a beautifully branded, look at that, oh yeah, look at that. I've got a beautifully branded strap that I can use for carrying this beautiful speaker. And finally, we got the speaker. Check that out. We got two titanium drivers in here. Those are 30 watts a piece. I've got two tweeters here. Those are 10 watts a piece. Nice sturdy metal screen on the front. Also a nice sturdy handle in case I want to go strapless.
That's what she said.
Nice Soundcore logo here on the front. And on the sides, I've got two passive radiators. Get a lot of thump out of those. Let's go around the back here. I like the textured back. It's ribbed for my texture pleasure, and the Soundcore logo is on there. Here's our accessories. We have our Type-C charging input. I've got a USB IQ charging port. Now this will actually charge your phone or devices faster because it measures the amount of juice that your device needs and gives you the proper amount of juice. So that's actually pretty smart. Then also I have an auxiliary input. Nice waterproof seal. We've got to make sure that is tight because we will be running this through a waterproof test because this speaker is IPX67. That means it's dustproof and waterproof. On the bottom, I've got some pads. Oops, I left one of these little pads on there. You want to take those off because if you leave these on, this thing could vibrate right off a table and possibly damage it. Then on the top, we have our controls. We got our simple up and down. It's almost like a rocker control, but that's rubberized right there. It's a little bit harder to see. I got my power off and on, and this is my pairing speaker, so I guess I can pair as many devices as I want to through the app. This is my Bluetooth button. I can press this to go into pairing mode. And this is my bass up button, which you guys know I'm a bass head. I'm always touching that button. And let's not forget on the top here, I've actually got metal brackets here so that I can hook my strap up to it, and I know that it's sturdy enough, it's not going to break. It's not a cheap piece of plastic. So overall, this speaker is very nicely put together. I love the build quality on it. So what do you say I sync this up and really start to piss off my neighbors? Okay, so I have the Soundcore Motion Boom Plus. I've been using it for about 2 weeks now, and I tell you what, in that 2 weeks, this is really important. I've had at least 3 firmware updates.
No way!
Now why that's important is that when I first took this thing out of the box and cranked her up and really started to play with the volume levels, I was getting some really interesting notes when I got up to 100% volume. So it's nice to see that Anker and Soundcore, they're providing some support for their speakers, and they're kind of fixing things as they go along. Now as far as pricing goes on the Motion Boom Plus, you're going to see a lot of different pricing on Amazon. I'm shooting a link down below and you'll be able to check out the latest pricing, but you can find it ranging anywhere from 110 bucks up to 150 bucks. And I've even seen it as high as $179. So keep hitting that link, check the latest pricing. They offer coupons all the time on the Anker products. So if you decide you do want to pick up one of these, head to that link down below, check out the latest pricing. Now during the unboxing, I mentioned that I had two drivers here. Now these bad boys are titanium drivers. So you're able to really push the limits as far as the volume goes on these speakers. Now as far as the battery life goes on the Motion Boom Plus, you're going to get a good 15 to 20 hours of playtime. And again, that will vary depending on how loud you play these speakers. Now I've got the latest Bluetooth technology in the Motion Boom Plus, and it's Bluetooth 5.3. I was able to get a good 100 feet away from the source with zero breakup. And what's also cool about this speaker is that it plugs right into the Soundcore app, which means I have a customizable equalizer as well as preset settings for different genres of music, including the Soundcore signature setting, which I guess is some sort of special setting. I tend to like to set up my own customized equalizers. So whatever sound you like, Soundcore has you all set. And this speaker feels pretty light for how sturdy it's built. It weighs in at about 5 pounds, so my arm's gonna get pretty tired by the time I get done shooting this video. But back to that app, again, what's also nice about the application is that they do push their firmware updates through the app. The one thing I don't like about that is that they force the firmware updates. So when you open the app up, it will not let you proceed to the settings without first doing that firmware update. Now that we got all the technical spectacle jargon out of the way, you're saying to yourself, "Old man, new tech, how does the speaker sound?" Well, I've got her all synced up and ready to go, so why don't we give you guys a little flavor for how it sounds indoors. All right, I got it synced up to my iPhone. We're gonna turn it on right now. She's on. And we're good to go. Took me a second to figure out that the middle of the rocker for the volume level is the play pause button, but they put a Soundcore logo there instead. Can't do enough branding, can you, Soundcore? The controls are pretty responsive, and I'm getting a lot of bass. Hopefully you guys can pick up on this through your device. Whoa. Check out those passive subwoofers pulsating. All right, we're gonna pause this for now. So hopefully you can get an idea of what it sounds like indoors. And I tell you what, indoors, the sound from the Soundcore Motion Boom Plus is almost overwhelming. I was playing that at about 20% volume, but where the Soundcore Motion Boom Plus shines is how it sounds outdoors. Okay, so outdoors, it really does shine as far as the mid-range and the bass. What makes the Motion Boom Plus really stand out outdoors is that the bass, the mid-ranges, and these tweeters come together to give you sound across a long distance. So I can have a large yard party going on with one speaker and still have plenty of sound where people will be able to hear the music. And that is really kind of unusual for a speaker this size. So we've talked a little bit about the sound. The sound to me at between 50 to 75% is beautiful. Now when you start getting up to 80 to 100%, something strange begins to happen and it begins to sound a little bit shrill.
No way!
I've even had other people tell me that when I got it up to 100% volume, it was beginning to sound a little bit unpleasant. So is this the perfect JBL Boombox 2 killer? No, I wouldn't say that. But you are not going to find a louder speaker or a nicer sounding speaker for this price range. Now with that, I'm going to run into my pros and cons. So the pros. The Soundcore Motion Boom Plus is one of the best speakers that I've reviewed at this price range on this channel. But that's at low and moderate volume levels. It's got different levels of bass with rich mids and crisp, clear highs. I'm a bass head and this speaker is right up my alley. And I love the convenience of the strap for carrying the speaker. I can put it right over my shoulder and have free hands so I can grab my cooler and other things before I head out on the boat. It's a fairly simple, straightforward design and easy to use controls. Now I live on the lake and I love the fact that it is totally dust and waterproof. Now the Soundcore Motion Boom Plus is not a perfect speaker, so we do have a few cons. My buddy Brandon O.D. noticed this, and I noticed it too. They've got lights for the controls, but they don't have lights for the volume controls, which if you're in a situation where it's dark, you're not going to be able to see where the volume controls are. You can kind of feel it out, but why not light the volume controls? And you got your little logo there, light it up. More branding, Soundcore. And another con that I found that I haven't seen pointed out on too many channels is that you can't really skip forward and backwards on your tracks with these buttons.
No way!
I've tried doing long presses on the volume controls. Doesn't skip forward or backwards. So if you want to hear that track again, you have to go to your phone. What's up with that? And another big con that you may want to consider before plopping down your money for this is that the volume, when it gets up to 100%, the speaker can sound somewhat shrill. Now I know they've been doing firmware updates to correct the problem, and the last one has gotten much better. So it's less noticeable now, but still, you don't want to crank this up to 100%. It's not really that great sounding when it gets that loud. But that's about it. I mean, overall, you've got a great performing speaker. It is a loud speaker, and it comes in at a budget price. But I've heard a lot of glowing reviews on it, and I still find some faults with it. I still haven't found that perfect speaker yet. But I would say the Soundcore Motion Boom Plus is a speaker you definitely want to check out. But even brands like W King, which also offers budget loud boom boxes like this, although they're not waterproof, come in at a great price point and are just as loud. I think their last boom box was the D10, and that thing cranked really loud, and you could turn it up all the way. It was every bit as loud as this, and it didn't really get shrill like this one does when it gets up to 100% volume. So again, we got a great sounding speaker between 50 to 75% volume. It comes in at a fairly budget price, especially if you're pricing out JBL speakers, Sony speakers, things like that. And it's portable for on the go and outdoor activity. So you're gonna have a lot of fun with this speaker. So I can definitely recommend buying it, but again, buy it when you can find a sale on it. And with that, I've got my party mix queued up. The lake is calling, and I will check you guys later.
This is Steven Seagal. I'm just reminding you that we gotta spread the word about Old Man New Tech. So hit like and subscribe at the bottom, or I'll come to your house and I will eat all your donuts.